What is going on, YouTube? BCD back with another quick video, and today I wanted to talk about this whole Netflix. It looked like they come into gaming and how that will kind of impact the whole streaming business of streaming games. Obviously, there's a lot of big players in it right now, and how is Netflix bringing over its huge, like massive audience to the streaming of gaming, and can they even, how would that look, honestly? So that's what I want to talk about. That's why I want to kind of get a conversation going about, because I think honestly that is some of the biggest news to come out in a very long time. A big player like Netflix, someone that's very, embedded in a lot of people's homes right now, for a price of $9.99 subscription service, bringing gaming to their platform to allow for not only content and entertainment on the movie, TV show front, but also the gaming side, and what that cost will look like. So I looked up some statistics. I don't ever look up that many statistics, but I looked up this statistics, and seems as if 8 out of 10 Americans in the U.S. had access to high speed internet. I think it's like a percentage, about 78% on the census.gov. That's a pretty big portion. That's a significantly higher amount than it was previously to COVID. So a lot of people had to get high speed internet. A lot of people had to get access to it. Not saying it's going to continue that way, but as of now, having access to the internet was kind of like a way of life for a little bit. So it kind of gave a big boom to a lot of people having to get high speed. Not saying that it wasn't internet available before, but now that you need high speed, you can kind of do more things with that, and you can kind of get away with things, or at least, you know, run heavy games over streaming services for Netflix. I don't even want to think about that money. How do you know how much money that is to have this type of company kick off something like that? It has to be very small in size at first. They can't do it where it hits the masses immediately. This has to be scaled back. It's just too many of us, honestly. Too many people on Netflix platforms. It has to be a premium subscription. I wonder how much it's going to cost. I wonder if they're going to give us free games. If they go the Stadia route, they could definitely do that, where they kind of have you buy games to stream. They could go the Stadia route. They can also go where you get that additional subscription where you actually get games that you're going to have access to in the library, kind of like the Game Pass, where you can also buy games and house them there, but you can also just not do that, and actually play the games that you want to own per se. So it's just interesting. I wonder what they're going to do. Now, they brung in some big guy by the name of Mike Verdu. Mike Verdu was the former EA and Facebook. He was the vice president of game development there. Basically, somebody that knows how to work within gaming. I'm not sure how much of background in streaming services he may have, but it seems as if they're gearing up, and this is what kind of piqued everyone's interest. And it's also them stating that they're going to have this stuff available in the next year, so 2022. They're supposed to have this stuff available and ready for everyone to kind of use. This is scary hours. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of scary. It, it it's starting to kind of give off that the big race to streaming, which at first streaming was scary, but it's not really. Subscriptions aren't scary. We have the data to prove that it's more beneficial for this type of stuff, and yeah, a lot of people are losing that impact of owning content, but at the same time, there's other outlets in order for you to do so. If you want to own your content, you can own it on these platforms, or you can own it outright with a physical copy. As long as Netflix is continuing that stance where you can still own your games, I think the way Google Stadia is doing their platform is the smartest way to do it at this point. Just like, Game Pass, where they allow you to subscribe and give you subscriptions, and they allow you to kind of get games, but they also allow you a discount on those said games if you choose to purchase outright and no longer want to do Game Pass. I think continuing to give each and everyone an option to either go subscription or buy games outright is the smart move. I don't think just having a subscription only kind of program is the best way to go. It doesn't provide as much sustenance as you would think, and it also stops people from wanting to even try it because they just feel like they don't really own said game. I don't know. It's just different. I think the option is what's truly allowing me to be okay with it. I think if the option wasn't there to actually own my game, I don't know. I don't think I'd be as receptive as I am to all these streaming services for gaming. Um, how does that impact, the Xbox Cloud and everything like that? It doesn't really impact it that much because again, Xbox Cloud is a service that you pay into. You can't just have Xbox Cloud on its own. You got to have that kind of that ultimate subscription. So it already was like a tie-in, buy-in kind of deal. It wasn't as if it was on a standalone where you can just get xCloud. They may have that in the future, but right now it's bundled within Ultimate. Let's talk price. How much do you think it should cost for $60 games to be able to be ran over Netflix at high definition, 1080p, 60 at max? I say $7 extra a month. $7 extra a month to have that service. Now, it's really cool that, Google does the zero. You don't have to pay for anything. It's a platform in itself. All you got to do is pay for the games. That's really cool. That's a way of getting people used to streaming games. And it also gives you that extra ability to kind of, jump into the Google Stadia Pro and kind of get those games that they're going to be offering you monthly. So, and it also boosts your speeds and your ability to stream at a higher resolution. I still think Google Stadia is doing it the best when it comes to latency, the technology that they're implementing, and the ability to kind of right now secure people to even try it. Netflix is going to have a big boom simply because of the amount of people it reaches. If it's something that they are offered for like a free trial, or they give you like a premium price, like additional price on top of it, that could be cool. It just really comes down to the budget and the pricing of how much it's going to cost. That's really going to sell me or make or break it. They could be possibly working on their own controller. It could be possibly just Bluetooth only. It has a lot of applications on a lot of different platforms. So it's not as if you have to run it off the TV, which, it has the base there. I really wonder how much it will cost. I think it's going to be like $10. I think it's going to be $7 to $10 extra, which is fine. I just wonder if it's going to come with games or not. With Netflix hiring someone that's, kind of key to that mindset of creating games and things like that, developing games, I think they are going to start developing their own games and their own stuff as well, which will be interesting. I don't know how well that kind of goes off. I sometimes it comes off as the lack of interest in these, first party published games that lack a lot of that oomph that you normally get from a Microsoft, a Xbox, a Microsoft, a Sony, or a Nintendo. It can definitely compete with Microsoft, but they ain't competing with Sony or Nintendo, and they come with exclusivity in their games. Microsoft has been gearing up to make a big comeback when it comes to that as well. So it's really a lot at stake for Netflix to kind of create a good game, because you're going to be wasting a lot of space. You're going to be using a lot of server stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can hold their own. They obviously have to come out with something that's really going to be dramatically a good, like a drastically good game. You see Amazon and their options, it just doesn't seem to click with people, and it's probably not going to have a large market share ever, really, unless they come out with some exclusive games. There has to be something outside of the incentive to just say, this is free for you as long as you buy the game. That's not enough anymore. You have to have something to get people interested in not only cloud gaming, but your platform and, jumping into your ecosystem. So what is that for them? What is that for Netflix? Netflix is simply a conglomerate for, mass media. So I could see them getting into it and actually making great games. So we'll see though. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to start the conversation because I had it on top of mind. Thank you guys for watching as usual. If you did enjoy the content, always, you can either like and subscribe or subscribe and like, whichever you want to do. Just make sure you do one of those. But thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Peace.